Once, in the desolate heart of the cursed Blackwood Forest, stood an imposing mansion known as Blackwood Manor. This mansion, veiled in shadow and shrouded in mystery, had a sinister reputation that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to speak its name. Nestled deep within the gloom of the forest, the manor was a monument to fear and unease. Its towering spires reached out to the stormy heavens, a silhouette of dread against the moonlit sky. Locals whispered of the manor's dark past, of eerie occurrences and spectral sightings that defied explanation. They warned of the manor's curse, an ancient evil that lingered within its stone walls. Among the whispering masses was Emily, a daring journalist with an insatiable curiosity. Driven by her need to uncover the truth, she decided to confront the chilling tales head-on. Armed with nothing but her courage and her notepad, she ventured towards the ominous manor. Ignoring their warning, she pushed open the creaking front door and stepped into the dimly lit foyer. The air was frigid, and a stifling sense of dread hung in the atmosphere. Emily, our intrepid journalist, had crossed the threshold into the unknown, her curiosity pushing her deeper into the bowels of the eerie Blackwood Manor. Armed with only her flashlight, she embarked on a chilling journey of discovery, her breath visible in the cold air. The manor's ground floor was a tableau of time forgotten. Furniture, once grand, now lay hidden beneath layers of dust and draped in spectral white sheets. They stood as silent witnesses to the manor's haunted history, their once vibrant hues muted by the passage of time. Cobwebs, like delicate lace drapes, hung from the ornate ceiling and clung to the corners, a testament to years of neglect. As Emily navigated through the manor's labyrinthine layout, the eerie silence was punctuated by faint whispers. They seemed to emanate from the walls themselves, a chilling chorus of voices that echoed through the vast empty halls. They were unintelligible, their words lost in the abyss of time and despair, but their presence was undeniable. Emily strained her ears, attempting to decipher the spectral whispers, but they remained elusive. The whispers, however, grew louder, more insistent, their ethereal tone resonating in the cold, silent air. A chill crawled down Emily's spine, a primal fear awakened by the unseen voices. Undeterred, Emily pressed on, her resolve steeled by the rising fear within her. The whispers seemed to guide her, like a ghostly siren's call, leading her towards a grand spiraling staircase. Its once polished oak railing was now dulled by years of disuse, the intricate carvings barely visible beneath a layer of dust. As she ascended the staircase, the walls seemed to close in around her, the oppressive atmosphere growing thicker. The temperature dropped even further, each breath she took forming a cloud of mist in the frigid air. She hurried up a grand spiraling staircase to explore the upper floors. As she ascended, the walls seemed to close in around her and the temperature plummeted. The haunting of Blackwood Manor had truly begun. On the second floor, Emily encountered a locked door adorned with a tarnished brass plaque that read, "The Room of Despair." The name itself was a chilling whisper from the past, a testament to the horrors that lay within. Emily's heart pounded in her chest, a staccato rhythm echoing the eerie silence of the manor. With a deep breath, she reached into her pocket, fingers brushing against the cold metal of the skeleton keys she had discovered earlier. She selected one, its aged brass patina a stark contrast to the gloom. As she inserted it into the lock, the door shuddered, as if the manor itself was protesting against the intrusion. The key turned with an echoing click and the door creaked open. Emily peered into the darkness, her flashlight barely piercing the inky black abyss. The room was as silent as a crypt, yet the air was thick with an oppressive dread that seemed to seep into her very bones. It was as if the room itself was alive, pulsating with a malevolent presence that was palpable. Emily stepped into the room, her boots crunching on layers of dust that had been undisturbed for decades. The darkness seemed to swallow her, wrapping her in a cloak of despair. It was an overwhelming sensation, a desolation so profound that it threatened to consume her. She could feel it, the despair that had lent the room its name. It was a tangible entity, a specter of sorrow and fear that had been trapped within these four walls. The room was a reliquary of torment, a shrine to the anguish of those who had once called Blackwood Manor their home. Emily's heart pounded louder, a deafening drum in her ears. She could feel the room closing in on her, the darkness pressing against her like a tangible force. It was as if the room was alive, breathing with the collective despair of countless souls. Just as panic threatened to overtake her, a feeble glimmer of light flickered in the corner of the room, revealing an old tattered journal. It was a beacon in the oppressive darkness, a testament to the horrors that had once unfolded within the room of despair. With trembling hands, Emily opened the journal and began to read the harrowing tale of a family that had once called Blackwood Manor home. This was no ordinary journal. It was a chilling chronicle of terror, a testament to the horrors that had befallen those who dared to inhabit the cursed manor. As Emily delved deeper into the journal's pages, she was drawn into the tragic tale of the former occupants. Their names were lost to time, their identities swallowed by the maw of the manor's dark history. But their story was as real as the cold stone walls surrounding Emily. The family had arrived at Blackwood Manor filled with hope, their hearts brimming with dreams of a peaceful life. Little did they know of the darkness that lurked beneath the manor's grand facade. The journal bore witness to their descent into madness and despair. The once vibrant family found themselves plagued by inexplicable occurrences. Objects moved of their own accord, eerie whispers filled the silence of the night, and chilling apparitions appeared at the corner of their eyes. As Emily read about their relentless torment, she could almost hear the echoes of their desperate cries, their pleas for mercy that went unanswered. The manor was relentless, its malevolent spirit intent on sowing chaos and fear. The family had been helpless, caught in the grip of an unseen terror that refused to let go. The journal detailed the family's futile attempts to escape the manor's clutches. They found the doors locked, the windows barred, and the walls closing in on them. The manor had become their prison, their own personal purgatory. The family's final entries were frantic, filled with raw terror and a sense of impending doom. They spoke of a darkness that was closing in, of an evil that was about to claim them. The more Emily read, the more she could feel the manor's oppressive presence tightening around her. The air grew colder, the whispers louder, and the sense of dread more potent. The journal was more than a record of the past. It was a warning, a portent of the horrors that still lurked within Blackwood Manor. As she read, Emily heard the whispers grow louder and more distinct. The journal's tale was far from over, and neither was Emily's night of terror. The manor's story was far from done. The words now formed a chilling chorus, echoing around her in the oppressive darkness. Emily stood frozen, her heart pounding in her chest as the voices swirled around her, the whispers growing louder and more distinct. Each syllable seemed to drip with malice, a cacophony of spectral voices that filled the room with a palpable sense of dread. The whispers were no longer just sounds. They had taken on a life of their own, a symphony of the damned that seemed to emanate from the very walls of the room of despair. Emily strained to decipher the voices, her mind racing as the voices grew more insistent. The whispers were a puzzle, a riddle wrapped in an enigma, and Emily felt a growing sense of urgency to uncover their meaning. As the whispers intensified, Emily could feel the temperature in the room plummet. The air grew thick with tension, a tangible blanket of fear that threatened to smother her. The flashlight in her hand flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced along the room's decrepit walls. Emily's breath hitched in her throat, her pulse quickening as she braced herself for what was to come. The whispers crescendoed to a deafening roar, a maelstrom of voices that overwhelmed Emily. She could feel her heart hammering in her chest, the blood pounding in her ears. The whispers were relentless, an onslaught of spectral voices that seemed to invade her very soul. But then, as suddenly as they had begun, the whispers stopped. The silence that followed was deafening, a void of sound so complete that Emily could hear her own heartbeat echoing in her ears. She found herself holding her breath, her body rigid with anticipation. The oppressive darkness of the room seemed to press in on her, a tangible weight that threatened to crush her. Suddenly, the whisper stopped, replaced by a deafening silence. Then, from behind her, Emily heard a door creaking open.